Welcome to the Entrepreneurship in the Global Economy course, Silver Industries. I'm Dr. Janice Wassel, and this is my very favorite course. I'm so glad a colleague of mine designed this about 10 or so years ago and introduced me to this course. I've tweaked it a bit since then to make it my own, and I'm going to explain to you over this semester why I fell head over heels in love with this course, and why I think it provides so much opportunity for individuals as they go and see the great opportunities in the global economy. The baby boom, not only in the United States, but in Canada, in England, and Australia, and many other countries in the world. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. As much as you hated doing this, I hate doing this. I hate speaking to the camera, and I've had to do it a lot myself. But let me tell you a little bit about me. I have two doctorates. My first one is in demography, the second is in sociology. I also have a minor in gerontology from Penn State. I consider myself a demographer first. Most likely, I should have studied economics or business, but you see, I went to college like many of you, just straight out of high school, back a number of years ago. But anyway, that's not part of the story. But I had trouble settling on a major. My mother sent me to college to become an interior decorator. I didn't like that. Then I tried architecture. I didn't study very hard. Then I went into philosophy, political science, and I really majored in the P's. I majored in partying, politics, pinochle, poker. I was really good in math. I was really good in cards. To say I wasn't focused in formal studies would be a major understatement. I either got A's or not A's. So I left college and I got married, and I had four wonderful children. And in the course of my husband's career, we moved partway up Mount Rainier. And had a wonderful time with my family. And they were my first interest, and nature was my second interest. In the course of that, I took up hang gliding, and that's kind of a dangerous sport. I was pretty restless. My husband came home one day and he said, "You know, Jan, hang gliding is a little dangerous. And we have four children. Our youngest one is 6 months old. And so maybe, you've talked about going back to college. So maybe that would be better for you to do. Because if something happened to you, it'd be very hard for me to raise four children." And I think he had a valid point, so I decided to get serious. And I went back to college. Well, because I had a rocky record in my studies, I went back to a community college where I got my first degree, which was in early childhood education. And then I decided to continue, and I made a series of rational decisions, as we all do. And I looked to see what was the closest university that I could go to, since I knew I'd be going and taking many night courses, that didn't have a lot of black ice. There's a lot of black ice in the Puget Sound area. And the closest university was Pacific Lutheran University, a great university, and they had a great adult student program. And so I went there and said to them, in the practical way many of us do, what is the degree I could get the quickest, given the courses I've taken? And they said sociology. So I said, okay, that's where I'm going. And that's what I did. I got a degree in organizational sociology. In the course of that, I took, as we all do, a statistics course, and then a marketing demography course. In my first stats course, I met that regression equation, and I know it's hard for many of you to believe, but I was hooked. I fell in love. And then that demography course, I was super hooked. And so on to graduate school we went. We went off to Penn State. There I could get a dual degree. I could get a degree in demography. I could get a degree in sociology. And as my children say, we all went to graduate school to get together. At that time, I was the oldest grad student I think they'd ever had. How I got into gerontology is kind of a funny story. My mentor in my dissertation chair came to me and said to me, apply for this National Institute of Aging pre-doctoral fellowship. And I said, Dennis, I don't want to study aging. And he said, you're looking into midlife women, and that's aging. And I go, oh, well, no. And he said, yes, Jan, aging doesn't start at 35. It starts earlier. Remember? And I can still kind of remember looking at his face, and he was laughing, and he said, do it. And he gave me some advice that I'm going to share with you because it's amazing advice and it served me well. He said, look at the market, look at the trends, see where the market is going. And he also said, you're older yourself. You don't have time to waste going off into these tangents. That was great advice. I made a market-driven decision then. I went into aging. And that decision has served me well. I looked at the demographics of the society, of the aging society. I looked at where the future jobs would be. And I'll tell you, getting my minor in gerontology, which is what I ended up doing, has provided me every job I've had. I've never regretted that decision and the lesson that I learned, which was listen to my mentors. So my minor in aging, that pre-doctoral fellowship and the postdoctoral fellowship that followed at Duke University in aging has provided that extra leverage in all my jobs. I later returned back to Penn State for a tenure track position. There was a slight problem. My children and my family had fallen in love with North Carolina and they remained here. So I would go back and forth every week, and that got tiring. I also had a son that was ill, and my first love is my family. So I ended up looking for positions here, and that position was at UNCG, where I became the director of the graduate program in gerontology, and I built the program, and I did that for 12 years, but that was long enough. I got tired, I got fat, and I decided no, I wanted to do other things. So I'm now an associate professor and I'm focusing on business opportunities in the longevity economy, economics of aging, especially in South Korea where I travel every year. Global aging and the longevity economy is exciting and creative, and it's providing opportunities for those who think creatively. So how did I get into this business of aging and the creative aspect? My mother. Listen to your mother. About 10 years ago, my mother called me mad as, well, you get the picture. She'd gone shopping. And I'm going to show you in our lecture this week more about that trip. She planned to spend money, but when she went shopping, she was ignored. She had plenty of money to spend. Well, she told me, Janice, you do something about it. And I did. I began the Aging is Good Business Summits. And for 6 years, we brought in people from over 12 states, and they were very popular. Unfortunately, they were not able to continue. But the national organization, the Gerontological Society of America, took them on, and they're called now Aging Means Good Business. And also, they are taken on internationally in South Korea and other places. So I'm very proud of that I started a movement that is now both a national and international movement. Universities in Japan, in Korea, in Germany, in Britain have courses on silver industries. They have entire programs on silver industries. I can't say I drove those. I wish I could. The MIT Age Lab, which started years ago, is doing great research. Google has taken up the mantle of looking into research, and they have these Aging 2.0 business plans and pitch plans. I've attended some of those events. They are amazing. So I'm excited to get you moving in this direction. I've had at least 2 students start their businesses. In the PowerPoints this week, you're going to get so much more. So welcome to this course, and we're going to have a great journey together. Thank you.